Now, are you able to hear me now? I don't know if you can. I miss me waffling on here, and I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let's have a look. Otherwise, this would be really embarrassing. So, okay, I don't know if you can hear me now. Just give me a little ditty to see if you can hear me on the chat. Let's have a look to see if I can get this. Let's have a look. Right, you should be able to hear me. Okay. Just give me a quick something on the chat, Jackie or somebody, if you can hear me or not, and then I can then try and make some adjustments. Okay, so if you guys just turned up, it was just like big hello. Thanks again for coming on to this live chat. Apologies if the first 10 minutes you couldn't hear me at all. I don't know why that's happened. But I'm just sort of giving a call out to Merrick and to Mia and to Hardeep about their questions, which they are asking about. And so I don't know what to say now, because I'm not sure what I've said already that you guys haven't heard already. I don't know if you can hear me or not, so I just need to double check to see if this volume is working. Otherwise, I'm going to be having to say it all over again. I just quickly put a chat in there saying, can you hear me now? Oops, spell it correctly. Let's see what's going on here. Not sure if you guys can hear this or not. Yeah, just to go back on what I've said already, is that excuse me, the overview of the section progress for an ECA, Merrick, is that you apply onto the NHS website and onto the job section, put an ECA or emergency care assistant into the into the selection, and then you have a look to see what's around in your area. And once you've applied, they'll get back to you as soon as they can. Obviously, it depends on how many people have applied. And then they'll ask you for an online question. So that we'll do is I'm going to ask you, like, it's like I know 20 questions of what would you do in this situation, certain situations. Would you be able to, if someone's fallen over and middle of the road, what was your first thought? And they'll give you like a drop down box of possible answers. So that's quite easy in that sense, and it's quite common sense. And after that, they'll ask you for an interview, which then on my one, because I had to go to Taunton for that, they will ask you to come along with your PE kit as well. And I had the interview, and I had my physical my physical test, which is basically like carrying bags up and downstairs for I think 5 minutes or something. And other bits and pieces which they may have changed since I did my ECA 3 years ago. And also they'll ask you to do something to do on a CPR side of things. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to do CPR. They've never touched a resusciani before, don't worry. They will explain exactly what to do. And they just want to make sure that you've got your stamina in your arms and your hands, your wrists, to keep going for 5 minutes, I believe anyway. That's still processed, but it may have changed from the time I did it. And then they will let you know in a couple of weeks, if you've passed that. The other thing you need to do also is take a driving test to see how well you drive your own, not your own vehicle, but your own vehicle which will be like they'll let you borrow a van, like an unmarked van, and it's just a normal, like a driving test where they'll ask you to turn left, turn right, reverse, that sort of thing, just to see what your basics of normal road speed driving is. And they'll tell you there and then normally if you've passed or not. If you haven't passed, then I think you've got to have one more chance. I'm not sure. But they told me on the day straight away that I passed that one. And as long as you don't sort of turn your hands over like that, and you're always using your mirrors and you're telling them what you're going to do and what you're looking at, then they know you're safe to drive on a normal vehicle on the road. So then when they then say to you after a couple of months, yes, you've got the course of ECA, let's go and put you into a big vehicle and we'll do your blue light driving, then they know you've got the good standard. Let's have a quick look at this. Oh, hello, Dan. Can't watch for long. I'm on bumpy PTS ambulance, but have a good day. I'm counting down the days now. Oh, Dan, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you, mate. Absolutely so proud of you. Good luck on your PTS. Please make sure that you're not watching this as you are actually driving. So, keep safe out there. I really appreciate it. I'm assuming that you can hear me okay, so I'll just carry on and burble on for the moment then. Just watch this back if you want down later on, no problem. Okay, so that was pretty much the selection process. And then once you've done all that, it took me about 3 months for them to come back and say, yes, you've got the job, but you not necessarily will have a position straight away. If you have asked for an area, so for me it was Christchurch, Bournemouth, Poole, in the Dorset area, they didn't have a position for me at the time because I was just trying to do my recovering from my wrist operation at the time. So I was staying on the pool for about a year. That was my situation because I had to recover and make sure I was okay and strong enough. However, you can wait a little longer for that time period in order for them to find you a position where you are able to get to work within like a 30-mile radius. Don't worry, I'm in the back of my own crew, mate. I'm driving. Thanks very much. Speak soon. Thanks, Dan. You take care, sweetie. Yeah. So, what was I want to say? Yeah. So, I waited a little time for my ECA job to start. But when you apply, they will ask you which station or which area you want to apply for, and it's really good to try and open that up as much as you can, because if you say I only want to go into, say, Christchurch, you can be just Christchurch, and there's no position there, that means they'll find it very, very hard for you to find work, a station to work from, so I should say. So for me, the drop down, I think it was Christchurch, Bournemouth, Poole, St Leonard's, Wimborne, all that area. So I did the whole lot, and it will be in sections. So you can just check the section that you're in and say, I want to do that one. If you want to go further afield, and if you are actually on a board of 2 types of counties, then of areas, then obviously do 2. Then you'll have probably a larger scope of being able to get a position there. But don't worry if they haven't got one for you at that moment in time. When you're in the pool, it does mean to say that you've got a position. They're just waiting for you to have a space to fill it. And then when you've got the position, what they will do then is contact you and say, right, this is your start date. And they give you like 6 to 8 weeks anyway to prepare to finish your old job off, or give them notice and things like that. And they'll give you the dates of when you're doing your training, and they'll give you dates of your exams. They'll tell you what you need to wear, that sort of thing. Okay, so don't worry anything about that. The most important thing is to try and get that application out there. Try and when you're having the interview, be as honest as you can be. Be yourself. Don't go in there going, oh, I know everything because I've done first aid at St. John's or something like that. They don't want to hear boisterous people. They don't want to hear people who have done it all. They want to hear honest to goodness people who have got a big heart, that want to go and help the other people out there. As I said before, lots of people that I know I've gone on this course, they haven't even had a first aid experience. They've been publicans, they've been people who've been working, in Marks and Spencer's. So if you can get a bit of work experience, that's really, really good. So even taking a course in first aid with St. John, joining up with them just to do some, voluntary work, with the Red Cross or something, that's absolutely fine. And that pays dividends really, because it means that you really are interested in that sort of line of work. Okay. For the life study, family balance, Merrick, I've got 2 kids, plus a husband, so I call that 3 kids. So yeah, it can be a little bit tricky with childminders and things like that. But you just have to be really good with your logistics on when they give you the first year or two, you'll go on relief, which means you'll only know what you're doing the first 6 weeks of any part of that, of that year. And it could be two months in one place, 2 weeks in one place, or 1 week in one place, or 3 days in one place, in different times as well, different stations. They try not to change once they've given you your 6-week rota, which is a rolling rota, relief, I should say. But if they do change, they will contact you and say, oh, we made a change, is that okay? I've always thought it's best to actually look on the GRS, which is the software, which is the global registering system. It's free, it's on our website, and it's on, and you can pick up your mobile phone or laptop and just check it on a every other day basis, really, just to make sure that you know what you're doing and you can tell people where you're going to be. Of course, if you haven't got kids, you haven't got a husband, you haven't got pets, I suppose the world's your oyster. You can do whatever you want. You can do overtime and all that sort of thing. But I'm not saying don't have kids, just saying it can be a little bit tricky. But I mean, mine's 9 and 7, and I've done it since before they were born. So, it is possible. It's just have to be really managing very well logistically. Okay, so Merrick, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, then obviously let me know and I'll find out what else I can do for you. And I said another big shout out to Mia or Maya. I keep on getting that wrong. I'm so sorry. At this moment in time, I believe you're at school. So hopefully you'll be able to watch this video when you come back. Hello from school. Most importantly, Maya, just get your grades at school. Make sure that you do your English well, do your maths well. If you can get the science in that probably will help as well. You can't start, I believe, an ECA job until you're 18, I believe. Again, it may have changed, but I think you've got to be 18 to do that. You certainly need to be ECA to start a paramedic course, and from what I understand from other paramedics, and you need to be 18 to get your C1 license, okay, at least. So this is what I've found out, because obviously I've got my C1 license with grandmother rights. But if anyone has any other information of that one, then please do make a comment, because it may have changed since the time I did it. But my advice to you, Mia, is just to make sure that you go through school, do all your qualifications as best as you can. You need at least an A to C or 1 to 3, I think it is now, in GCSE for your English and maths. I think that's your basics for most jobs, to be honest. If you have problems like myself with dyslexia and dyscalculia and everything else, then you can go for functional skills as well. But try and get as much as you can for your school work. And then, in the meantime, if you can do some voluntary work, that's great. Again, you can join St. John's when you're children. It's or Red Cross or something, just to get some first aid in. You might even, at the end of school, I think they have, what's it called, a work experience. So you might be able to get some work experience on, in a care situation, just to get some ideas of talking to people who are older than you, and getting an idea of the community, because the biggest thing about this job, Maya, is that communication. To be able to talk to somebody who's 90 or 80 and have some sort of common denominator to sort of connect with them, break the ice if they're really scared that something's happening to them, their family members are worried about something. Try and find ways to talk to people on a really nice, even keel. I mean, you'll probably be awesome with people who are younger than you, because obviously you've been to that age, you know. I mean, nowadays I'm still talking to kids about Xbox because I love my Xbox. I'm a proper little gamer, yeah. So I mean, I can connect that way, and I'm in sort of a situation where I've obviously had like 50 years experience of life before me, and I still can connect to people who are older than me as well. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, you know, walks of life are different, but then that's what makes us all individual and unique and wonderful as human beings and creatures of the earth, of course. Okay, so you said about what food to take on shift. Okay, so when I still have problems with this, on relief or on a rota, which means you have a set amount of time, or a relief when you they can change the week. I always like to take, if I can, take a little packed lunch of something with me and a drink, or a bottle that I can fill up with water. Normally, if you've got quite a good station, they have a microwave or an oven or something. They will have some kind of kitchen area for you to prepare your food. So if you've cooked your rice beforehand and put it into a pot, then you can heat it up. I mean, I'm having soups at work, but often also, naughtily, I also go on break. Before I go to break, I pop into a gas station or petrol station and I pick up some bits and pieces to eat there as well. On a late shift, I find that I snack a bit because I don't want my sugar levels to go down too much. I would say don't bring in masses and masses of food. Yeah, bring your fruit and bring your sort of snack bars, and make sure you have some sort of main meal when you have your lunch. Now, remember, lunch might be, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night. You know, so have some dinner, have some decent food through the day, and have something, maybe a light lunch at 9 o'clock at night, because you don't want to go around with a really heavy tummy. But it's up to yourselves. You know, it's the same way of how to sleep, you know, through the daytime, and that's something I've got to worry about now, because I've never needed to have a sleep in the daytime in order to work very, very late at night. Because I did that the first year, and I can't remember what it's like now. Yeah, bring some snacks, but bring healthy snacks. Yeah, and don't sort of bring like too many like chocolates and things like that, because unlike what I thought when I joined the service, I thought it'd be very physical, running around and you know, jumping up and down people's chests all the time, and you know, we're very, very fit people. But in fact, we sit down quite a lot in the vans. Yeah, so don't put too much in your body carbohydrate wise, which you don't need. Remember, if you don't use up your calories, you are going to keep it on your tummy like I have. Hello, Tom Putnam, how you doing? Hi, Freya, hope you're well. How have you been finding your pre-uni portfolio you've been asked to do? Oh, well, yeah, is that, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Is that the one about the my level 3 and level 4 for uni? Is that the bridging course you're talking about, Tom, or is that actually on uni? Because we've not received anything at the moment for the portfolio for the actual uni course start, because it won't start until 2 weeks' time. Oh, the bridging course. Yeah, I've done it all, sweetie. It was the level 3 was really good in the way that it was good. It was basically, you have an ECA passport. That's another thing, you guys. You might have that. I don't know. So you have a sheeted piece of paper or a booklet, which every time you've done something, like you put a patient onto a stretcher and put them into the vehicle, and you have made sure that they're safe, that gets ticked off. With the bridging course, even though they know you've done it, they have to see you to do it, and it's a bit of a pain. And I found it quite embarrassing asking the paramedic to say, "Well, can you just tick off that I've actually put my rubbish away in the shops, you know, or put the rubbish in the right bin?" But it's something that they need, is a box ticking thing. But also they need to know that you know where to put stuff, you know how to do stuff. So it's all part of that bridging side. And there's 23 units. I don't have a piece of paper on me, but there's 23 units, and each of those units can be ranging between, I don't know, 8 to 15 mini units, and each of those mini units have to be signed off twice, either by the same paramedic or by different paramedics. You can pick it up using the mobile phone. We use something called Pebble Pocket, which is the software, which is a free download on the app on the phone, and then that connects up to Pebble Pad, which you can then access on the phone or on your laptop. And the Pebble Pad is where the university people actually say, yes, you've done that correctly, well done, or actually send it back and say, could you then redo this a little bit here, because you haven't explained how you gave O2 to this patient and why you gave the O2 to the patient. It's all about history. So you write it down a little bit like when you write your history down on the EPCR, which you probably don't know about if you're not joined the ECAs yet. But you'll write in a little bit like a call to a 68-year-old male with breathing problems, for example, and then you'll make a note to say which unit you are then referring to and say, I administered O2 at 2 litres using this mask for this amount of time, and then I made a note on the EPCR whereabouts it is. And there's a couple of units in there which you ticked off straight away. Tom, I'm currently doing AAP as an internal ECSW and wouldn't believe how much work there is to do. I see we're going with Cumbria Uni with Sec for para, so I'd be interested to see how you find the course when you get on. Oh, that's brilliant, Tom. Awesome. Well done. Okay. That'd be good to sort of like update each other on how things are, and what difficulties we have, and what trials and tribulations there are. So I haven't got my glasses on, and I'm trying to put my contact lenses up. I could just about read it on the black and white, but thank you for that. Yeah, okay, well, we'll keep in contact, definitely. Yeah, so that was the level 3, Tom. Basically, it's a box ticking thing. The level 4 part of the bridging is that you would have these assignments or essays you have to write. I think the first essay is about 250 words, and the last one is about 750 words. And they don't give you 10% either side. You just waffle on, and you learn a bit. You get to. They'll ask you to look on something. They'll ask you to find out how to do quotations. They ask you how to look on the journals online. It's basically helping you navigate your way around their website. And I love writing, so I found it very easy. Hey, is it Brandon? Hello, Brandon. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Tom, will you be the first cohort as well? No, I'm not. I'm actually cohort number 2. Cohort number 1 I think it's further up north than me. I think, Tom. I think it's around Bristol. But I'm cohort 2. They're advertising for cohort 3, cohort 4 at the moment, and they're stopping at the moment at that point, I believe. I'm GDWBU. I'm not sure what that means, Brandon. I'm not very good with my my small letters. Sorry. Have you? Tom says, have you been able to chat to colleagues about how they found it? Yeah. Well, the thing is, with the bridging course, as with an ECA course, Tom, I was able to go onto a WhatsApp. So as soon as you find a group of people that you are with, create a WhatsApp group and then just chat about it. I mean, they all found that the level 3, the asking questions and asking a paramedic to sign things off was really frustrating in a way that you keep on asking them, and then you feel that it's really bad to keep on asking them. However, paramedics also have exactly the same problem when they were learning. Everyone's been a learner. Everyone's had to ask people to tick things off for them, so don't worry about it. I'm good about you. I'm really good, thank you, Brandon. Really, really good. Thanks, mate. I'll just quickly finish off this question about Mia and Hardip, if I may, because otherwise we're going to be running out of time. Okay, so what food? I did talk about the food. How young? again, Mia, I think it's going to be, I think you have to be 18 to become an ECA, from what I understand. Again, if somebody else knows different, please do make a comment on here. You get your uniform when you're training, yes. So when you start your training, I think the first 2 weeks, they'll get you to find the right size, and you order it. And I think I got my uniform probably the last 3 weeks before finishing, or maybe the last 4 weeks before finishing the course. And our one in St. Leonard's, they didn't let us wear it. When we got it, we had to wait for everyone to have their uniforms, and then we all put it on, so we all felt, we're all part of the team, sort of thing. That includes boots, shirts, tops, jackets, yellows, high visors. You get high vis trousers, which I don't think anyone's worn. I've never worn my high vis yellow trousers with my high vis top. I've always had the high vis top for the summer and winter, but never trousers. You can change your boots every year as well. Just ask them for a new pair of boots. You don't have to pay for those. So none of the uniform you pay for. If you need more uniform, which inevitably you will do, either that you change your size, or they get too dirty, or you just need some for in your car, in the station, and out with you just in case it gets dirty. You'll probably need 3 lots of uniform anyway, to be honest. So always ask anyway. And what else is it? What's the other question she was asking for? What do they look for in an interview, and what would you wear? Okay, Mia, so when you go for any interview, just look your best, look your tidiest, make sure you obviously have a shower, wash your hair, if you put your makeup on, not too much. Make sure your nails are short and clear and tidy, because they will look at your nails, because you need to have short nails. You can't have long nails, girls or boys. They need to be short and very, nicely groomed, because it's just for health and safety, really. Just wear, interview like a skirt or a top, or a pair, like a trouser suit, something which is formal yet practical as well. But don't wear jeans, don't wear hoodies, anything like that. If you wear your hair up, that's good. If you wear glasses, wear your glasses, but make sure that you are presentable for your interview. It could be that you'll be having an interview online, if this pandemic continues with the COVID. And also make sure your shoes are nice and clean as well. SCAS is doing a live apprenticeship for ECA, can't wait. They might do, I don't know. Have a look on the SCAS website. South Century might well have more ECAs going over there. That would be good. All right, so I hope that's answered your question there, Mia. Tom, I'm guessing your local clinical education department teaches the practical para skills. If you're talking about from the bridging course, yeah. So what will happen for me, Tom, when I go on to University of Cumbria as a student, paramedic? The University of Cumbria has everything online as well, because of that we can't go to Cumbria. I believe they are having someone coming down from the university to my local area. And then whenever the dates are per month, and we're having our sit down in our lessons in the classroom at St. Leonard's. A lot of it's going to be online, a lot of it's going to be self learning as well, I believe. But the clinical stuff is, it's all going to be in-house, sat down in a classroom, and also having to look online as well with YouTubes. I'm guessing. I really don't know. As soon as it comes along, I obviously will let you guys know. So it's a whole new thing for me as well. But I'm looking forward to it. Certainly, it's going to be a massive change for thinking, because you have to start. You don't ever stop thinking about being as an ECA. You have to keep that ECA thought in your head and then work on it. Don't ever lose your ECA grounding or basis of information. Tom says, it seems like Cumbria Uni have invested a lot in this distance learning para course. Many more trusts going for it. Yes, I think they are, to be honest, Tom. I think Cumbria probably got it on the have probably got the niche now. Beforehand, there was the Portsmouth one. I think that was like 42 weeks or something. Really short para course from ECA to para. There was also the Bristol one, which I believe was only 2 years, but that was only to a what was it called? It wasn't a full degree. It was a can't think of the name of it now. I think it was a diploma or something, which they needed then to top up for another year or two for a degree. So in a way, I'm actually quite glad that I didn't get into those ones. I applied for all those ones. I applied for 3 or 4 paramedic courses beforehand and got this one. And this one's so much better because not only that, that it's as a full degree, you only pay £1,500 over a course of a year, which comes out of your pocket, out of the payment of ECA payment automatically. So it's £125 a month or something, and that's it. You don't pay for anything else. So if you basically get a whole degree for £1,500, that's not bad at all. Yeah, so Tom says there is so much value, especially in terms of retention, investing and training up in internal staff. They made a good decision. They've made a good decision with you. Oh, bless you. Well, I don't know. We'll see. The judgment's out on that one, Tom. Let's see if I can pass the course yet. So it's very early days. You know, I haven't got a lot of confidence in myself because at the moment, because of the way I learn. But then I think, well, you know, there's people coming out of college and school, going to college, going to university that haven't got any other job experience or life experience, and they come away as full paramedics, full degrees, and they're awesome. So, and they haven't, you know, so you can go from nothing straight to a paramedic course through university on your self-funded, like Bournemouth University. I think they do it for £9,500 a year. But after the 3 years, you're a full paramedic, and those guys, the medical knowledge they have are just awesome, you know. But you have to also have the communication there as well. Okay, so I hope, Mia, that's answered your questions as well. So yeah, you've got to be 18, I believe, to be an ECA and a paramedic. I don't know. There's someone mentioned 21 years old for something, but I don't know what that's for. So if anyone can correct me on the ages of when they can start an ECA or a paramedic course, please do make a comment on this. C1 license, that's another thing. When you before you join as an ECA or a paramedic, you must make sure you have a full driving license, which is a full manual, not automatic, a manual license on a car. And if you are if you haven't got a C1 license on the back of your driving license, you need to go and get that before you start as an ECA, and certainly as a paramedic, because that allows you to drive larger vehicles. Okay, and I'm not sure how much it is. There are driving schools all around the area that can give you the training for a C1 and give the license for that, which you need to send off to DVLA at the end of it, then bring it back and then show the trust that you've got a C1 license. Okay. Experience is so valuable in today's role. You have no trouble in learning additional clinical skills. I'm so pleased you got so much trust and faith in me, Tom. Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing your exploits as well, mate. Okay, Hardeep was the other email I had as a question. Let's have a look here. We've got about 20 minutes left. Okay, so how to become a student paramedic from an ECA? What is the process? Please advise. Okay, so Hardeep, hello there. I know I probably answered you a little bit already on the text, on the email, on YouTube. So there's 2 routes from what I remember. You can go from school into university and do your student paramedic course there, which gives you your full degree, or you can go into an ECA, emergency care assistant job, or even PTS. You can start from there and then work your way up and do the internal. If your trust has an internal way of like my one, having a bridging between ECA and paramedic, then you can do it that way as well. Tom, I hope to get to Bournemouth later in the year. COVID depending, would be great to grab a coffee. I'm not sure if I can give you my work email. Yeah, Tom, just buzz me an email that'd be fine. And then, yeah, we could meet up at some point. That'd be really good. It'd be quite nice to put a face to a text. Yeah, so Hardeep, yeah, so those are the two ways I believe you can go from to an ECA and then to a student paramedic and to a paramedic. So you can go the direct route through college as a paramedic, or you can go from college to actually applying for a trust as an ECA and then go to paramedic from there. Or if you wanted to go from ECA and then go to a university, on your own, that's fine as well. When you apply for university, though, as your own person, I believe that you have to pay for that yourself. So it's self-funded. Like, for example, if I wanted to say I want to go paramedic last year and I couldn't, and I wasn't on a course, I'd have to quit my job as an ECA, go full-time as a paramedic student in Bournemouth Uni if they would have me, and then try and find bank work or try and find some part-time work to keep the money coming in to pay for the mortgage. So it's a really difficult way to do it. Plus, on top of that, you've got all your university fees as well. From memory, though, even though the fees of a degree from university is extremely expensive, I think at the end of the day, I think you probably end up paying like 25,000, whatever. I believe after 30 years, it gets written off anyway. And then when you get to 26,000 a year, you start earning 26,000 a year. They only take out a small percentage of that to pay back your paramedic your degree anyway. I don't know much about that though, so my advice on that is actually contact the university if you want to go straight to paramedic from school. Contact the university that you are interested in that does a paramedic course. Find out what qualifications they're looking for in order to apply. And then find out also, and how would you still keep yourself running at home, money wise? How would you look on student finance? I think that's the other thing you can do, is look on student finance and see if they can help you with that paybacks thing. As an ECA route, you just go and apply for ECA route through the NHS website, through the jobs. And talk to the HR department of the trust that you are thinking of contacting, and find out from them, can you send me more information about what the job does, how much it gets paid, etc., etc. When you do an ECA course, it's and the blue light course, it's free. However, if you leave within a certain time period, say you left within, 6 months or something, I believe that you have to pay back a percentage of the course, because you obviously completed it, but you're not, you've left it again. So there is a clause in the paperwork. So if you pass the course and then left in, say, 2 months, I believe you have to pay the whole lot back, including the blue light training. So it's a big decision, so make sure that you are at least in there for at least a year, because after a year it's all paid off. You don't pay for anything as an ECA. You don't pay for the training for the clinical side. You don't pay for the training for the driving side. However, if you leave under a year of that job completely, I believe that you have to pay back the trust for the training you received. But again, double check on that, because most people, like myself, once you've done it, you don't want to leave after a year anyway. So that's all done and dusted. Tom, yes, Tom. My email for work is the usual format. Yeah, and the surname is, of course, Joyner, Joyner. That's fine. So just drop me an email there. Just remind me who you are, and otherwise I won't know. All these random people asking me questions, I have no idea, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm hoping that's kind of answers your questions. Is there any other questions that anybody else have got at all? Obviously, when I start my training, my first actual day is going to be this, I think, the 6th or 7th of April. It's that week anyway, and I've got 3 days of St. Leonard's training. I think that's going to be my paperwork and showing certificates. And oh, the DBS is another thing. Whether you're doing as a when you start as an ECA or going on to a student para, you need to have a DBS. That's paid by the trust anyway, unless you've already got your own online DBS. If you've been a childminder or something, you will have it online probably. And that's the DBS, I believe, is updated yearly. But I've only been asked my second DBS now because obviously I'm changing positions, I guess, anyway. And it's dead easy. You just go online, you just drop the down box and answer very, very correctly and honestly, or what's been happening in your life when it comes to crime or no crime or whatever, and then send it off, and then they'll send you a form. The Department of Barring Services or something, whatever DBS stands for, they will send you a form back, which is two-sided, and the ECA or the student paramedic course will want to see that actual piece of paper. And through the COVID at the moment, because I couldn't physically give it to them, I had to make a picture on my phone of both sides and scan it off and send it through email, and that's just as good as well. Okay. The other thing is when you go for an interview, sorry, I meant to tell you this, when you go for an interview, make sure you have all your qualifications with you, and not just written on a piece of paper. Make sure you physically have got all your qualifications with you. So all the GCSEs you had, or the CSEs, that's probably going back too far now, O levels, that sort of thing. Anything that you've picked up through the past, you know, whether it's been driving, if it's been, you've got a first aid course, thank you letters, anything like that. Put it into a folder, make it nice and presentable, so if they want to see it, they've got it straight away for you. And also think about how you want to advertise yourself when you go for these interviews. So when you write out your interview letter to say, you know, I'm so and so, I'm really interested in this job as an ECA. You know, this is my background. This is what made me change why I want to do as an ECA job. For me, it was my boss at the time when I used to work as an IT person. He was an epileptic, and I didn't even know he was. I had no first aid experience whatsoever, and he just hit the ground. And I thought, oh, it was just me and him in the room in the classroom when it was in the summer holidays in a school somewhere. And he was just thrashing around on the floor, and I was absolutely scared out of my wits. I had no idea what was going on with him. And all I could do was like stick my leather jacket under his head and just shout downstairs to the workmen, say, I think we need an ambulance. My boss is having a bit of a fit. And I had no idea what that meant, you know, what he was doing. And they did it again, and then he told me what it was. And I thought, right, I need to, next time he does it, I need to know what to do. So that's when I took a first aid course, and then I went on to St. John's, and then it just went on from there. So, you know, they want to know why you want to do the ECA work. You know, maybe you've had someone who's, you know, ambulance has come out to your house or your friend's house, and you thought that, you know, they were really good with the patient. Maybe you like to, I don't know, wear the uniform or something, but it's not just about the uniform. It's not just about, you know, sticking a plaster on someone or holding a broken leg or holding a bandage to a gush on a head. You know, it's all about communication. It's about the right care, right time, which is quite interesting. You need to know that one. Yeah, just to be the best human being you can be for all walks of life. It doesn't matter about, you know, color, creed, religion, whatever, you know. And they want to hear that. They want to hear these little key words. So have a look on their websites and of the trust and see what their key what's the sort of policies are. You know, what their main things are. You know, and just sort of mention those in your interview, perhaps, or we'll have a look to see what they mean. And does it mean anything to you? And if it doesn't, then look it up. You know. Right. Okay. So we've only got a few minutes left because I need to go and pick up my boy now. But if there's anything else, please do let me know. I'm more than happy, as always, to reply to your messages on YouTube, of course. If you can't do it via YouTube, then obviously you can also email me as well through the connector through there. For some reason, I still can't find a way of answering all the comments. Some of the comments don't all come up, and I have unchecked or checked see all comments for some reason. I don't know why some of them aren't coming up. So if I've missed a comment, if you've not heard from me for a week, because I usually do it within a few days, please just do a little shout and say, hey, you haven't answered me, could you please do that? And I will do my utmost to do that for you. All right, Tom, thanks for the email. I'll yeah, you take care as well, sweetie. I will answer it as soon as I can, sweet. All right, so guys, please keep safe out there, drive carefully. All right, if you're on blue lights, it doesn't mean to say that you can go balls to the gate and go faster than lightning. Blue lights means just that you are using your exceptions and you are still driving safely. If it's a 40-mile-an-hour road, it doesn't mean to say you can go 100 miles an hour down it. It just means that you will go as safely as the road allows you to within a certain percentage of that miles per hour. But that will be taught to you on the blue light drive. All right, take care, everyone. I will try and when my next one's could probably be in about a week's time, depends on what's going on with other patients, and then I'll give you another update as soon as possible. All right, see you soon. Drive careful. Bye bye for now.